Living on a variable income is like living on a roller coaster. There are highs and lows, and it can be hard to predict what will happen next. Some months you earn more than others, but even the low months you still must be able to pay your bills. You might be self-employed, an entrepreneur, have a commission or tip-based job, or seasonal work like maybe construction or teaching. This can make it a little difficult to budget, but it's not impossible. It's actually more important than ever to create and live on a budget when you have variable income. Today I'll cover all of the steps that you can take to become a better budgeter even if you're on a variable income so that you can enjoy life more and worry about money less. Let's get started. Hey there, I'm Cameron from Triggator. I'm on a mission to help you feel more confident with your finances through budgeting, saving, and paying off debt fast. If that's something you need in your life, then hit the like and subscribe button and get notified every time I put out a new video. Now on to the steps to budgeting on a variable income. Step 1, start with your lowest income as your baseline. What is the minimum amount of money that you have to work with? You should be able to make this number more flexible as you balance out the reserve savings that we'll talk about a little later. If you haven't been living on a budget, you'll need to start low and work your way up. Step 2, determine your essential living expenses. Like you did with your income, determine a baseline for the expenses that you have. You'll need to be able to cover basic living and live on your low month until you have a reserve saving established. These are things like your rent, your mortgage, food, transportation, utilities, childcare if that applies to you. Step 3, set up automatic savings and payments where possible. We've all heard that you should put money into your savings first before you pay other things, but it's becoming increasingly rare that people will do this. To make it easier, you can automate your savings. You can do this through your employer's direct deposit program. Split your check and send your savings goal directly to your savings account so that it doesn't get spent. Your essential items like rent and utilities could automatically be paid also. This will ensure that bills get paid on time and they're not neglected. If you are on a low income month and it's stretching your limits, your credit card, cell phone, TV, and other things cannot get paid before your rent and your food and other essential items. Step 4, determine your flexible or variable expenses. Once you've got your necessities covered, you can start adding some discretionary spending depending on what your income will allow. This is things like your cell phone and the internet, maybe streaming TV service, entertainment, eating out, and other such expenses. There can be dozens of these. Don't allow too many of them to creep into your budget, especially if you're struggling to pay rent. Some of these will need to be let go at least temporarily. Step 5, use a paycheck budget. You may find that it's easier to budget by paycheck rather than by month. This will allow you to keep an eye on things that are coming due before your next paycheck and give you a distinct perspective on paying bills. If one paycheck has more due than another, you're able to balance them out and know what amount you'll need to roll over to the next pay period. Put your pay dates on a calendar and make sure that you can pay all of the bills that are coming due before your next payday. Budgeting is personal, so do what feels best for you and your family and something that you can stick to. While we're talking about a paycheck budget, I just wanted to remind you that Triggator is specifically designed to help you with a paycheck budget. There's not other systems on the market at this time that are like this that allow you to import your expenses and your spending from your bank and then keep track of your spending for each paycheck. Most budgeting systems are done monthly, but Triggator is unique in that it will allow you to do a paycheck budget. So continuing on, use a zero-based budget. A zero-based budget takes into account all of your money. You continue to subtract your expenses and your savings until your income reaches zero. If you've paid all your bills and you still have money, you just give that remaining money an assignment. Your budget isn't done until every penny is accounted for. You could put the extra money into your emergency fund, toward debt payoff, fund money, or add it to your investments. Just make sure you know where it's going so it doesn't get lost. Step 7, build a savings reserve when you have higher paychecks. So when your paycheck is a little more than you've established as your baseline for your budget, save that extra money and start building a reserve to cover expenses during your lower paycheck months. This will allow you to add back in some discretionary spending and expenses once you've got a cushion to fall back on and be able to pay them during your lower months. Separate this money into its own account so it doesn't mysteriously disappear. Your goal will be to grow this account to where you will be able to live off of old money, so that money that you've earned at least a month ago will go towards current bills, and you can adjust for the future based on what you're currently earning. I recommend trying a bank like Ally. It's a free online banking service that you can set up that will allow you to split your money into several savings buckets. You give each savings account a name, and then you can move your money into it. You can have up to 10 of these different money buckets. It's an excellent way to build your savings without losing track what you're saving for. Step 8, build an emergency fund. This money also needs to be separate from your regular checking and the savings reserve that you're growing to balance out your short months. Your emergency fund will be for large unexpected expenses that will inevitably show up at the worst possible times. So start with a small budget emergency fund and save at least $1,000. After you reach the $1,000, your next goal would be to save even more to cover like 3 to 6 months worth of expenses so you could survive a layoff or a major medical emergency. Step 9, earn some extra income. If your income is severely unpredictable, then you might need to make up the difference by working a separate job. There are a few ideas that you can try as like a side hustle. You could become a ride share or food delivery driver. This can make a fantastic way to make some quick cash, and there are typically extra bonuses during peak times, and you can get paid out weekly or daily for a small fee. You could become a tutor or teach a skill that you know that people would love to pay for so they could learn it as well. You could do photography if you have a knack for taking great photos. Try being a freelancer. You could also sell your photos online to photo stock websites. You could try childcare and watching extra kids in the neighborhood, or swap childcare with a parent to reduce your cost of childcare. You could walk dogs on Rover, or you could do freelance work on sites like Upwork or Guru or Fiverr. There are many other options, but it depends on your skills and your interest and your availability. So I hope you found these tips useful and can come up with a plan that will help you navigate the highs and lows of irregular income. Hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll be around for the next one. We'll see you next time.